away on a quiet street in Denver, Colorado, lies a church like no other you have ever seen. A church steeped in Illuminati symbolism, fallen angel imagery, and occult practices. They call themselves the International Church of Cannabis. We traveled to Denver in order to investigate this church for ourselves and get an up-close and personal look at this modern-day den of iniquity. Built over 113 years ago, this old Lutheran church looks ordinary from the outside, that is, until you notice the oddly placed artwork covering the doors and windows. As soon as we walked in, we were greeted by one of the founders. I asked Steve to tell us a little bit about this church, and this is what he said.
We are the only church in the world that lets its congregation smoke weed during its services, and we are the only wedding chapel in the world where you can smoke a joint and get married in the same chapel.
The only church in the world that lets its congregation smoke weed during the services. We had to see it for ourselves, so we walked upstairs into the chapel. We were greeted by a faint but noticeable smell of stale smoke, and everywhere we looked, paintings of faces, animals, and geometric patterns all over the walls. Taken from their website, somebody asked, "What does the artwork mean?" And their reply was, quote, "When one takes the sacrament, meaning weed, and meditates on the meaning of the murals, one may have what feels like a transcendental experience. In those moments, one may receive the meaning one requires at that time," end quote. Basically, what they want you to do is get high and stare at this artwork until the spirit of the painting overtakes you and tells you its true meaning. Interesting. When I look at it, I clearly see two fallen angels sitting there with their hybrid offspring, teaching them how to open portals. If you look closely, you can even see tiny humans trapped in the trees, showing us just how enormous these beings really are. Walking through the pews, one of the first things you'll notice is the complete eradication of God's Word. There are no Bibles in here. Instead, we find dirty ashtrays. Now, let's take a closer look at some of these paintings and see if we can figure out who is really being glorified here. Because one thing is for sure, it's definitely not Jesus. Sitting in the center of the chapel, directly behind the altar, is a massive skull, the universal symbol for death and destruction. Skull symbolism can be traced all the way back to ancient Babylon, where skulls were used to symbolize the, quote, shining ones and their influence on the world. All throughout history, we see the use of skulls on prominent figures and organizations as a way to covertly show their allegiance to Lucifer. This practice can still be seen today. Have you ever wondered why so many celebrities are obsessed with skull symbolism? The next symbol we found was the Egg of Life. The Egg of Life is an occult symbol that depicts the mixing of fallen angel and human DNA. This mystical symbol can be found in almost every ancient culture all over the world, and is derived from the flower of life symbol. The flower of life can be dated back over 5,000 years and is said to contain vital information on the secrets of the universe and all living things. This is just another example of the mystery religions trying to bypass God with their secret knowledge. Good luck with that. The earliest record of this symbol was found on the alabaster steps that were once part of the palace of King Ashurbanipal. It's been dated back to around 645 BC. This symbol has been used in occult rituals since the beginning of time. Take the Tree of Life in the Kabbalah, for instance. It is taken from concentric patterns within the flower of life. Also, famous occultist Leonardo da Vinci was able to derive Platonic solids and the golden ratio of phi from the flower of life. Next, we have the only cross in the building, and it's sitting directly inside the belly of a Native American thunderbird. The origins of the thunderbird symbol can be traced back to the mysterious serpent mound builders of North America, who, in all probability, were Nephilim hybrids. The thunderbird was a spirit of the underworld and a symbol for war. The position of the cross directly inside of the belly of the beast is no accident. It's a declaration of war. This brings us to the most telling symbol inside the so-called church, the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, also known as the evil eye, the demonic eye, the eye of the deity, the eye of Horus, or the eye of Ra. It represents the spiritual eye of Lucifer and the fact that no one can escape its magical reach. The fact that they call themselves a church, which, by its very definition, means a building used for public Christian worship, is an absolute assault to Christianity and the very principles it's founded upon. The spirit of the Antichrist is rising in every city, every town, all over the world. The word Antichrist in Greek means instead of Christ. In other words, to replace Christ. And that is exactly what they're doing.